Janine Garofalo always says, you know, they say comedy is subjective. They're lying. And it's true, because funny is funny. And you learn that as a black comic, because sometimes you're in a white room and you're like, maybe I shouldn't do these jokes for the black folks in this room. But if they're really funny, they're gonna work regardless. What's up, y'all? It's Amanda Steels right here on Comedy Hype, and you best believe the hype is real. I just don't subscribe to the whole jack of all trades, master of none. If I'm doing it, it's because if I'm not a master yet, I am working on mastering it. I'm not just dabbling in it. That shit is annoying. You know, like, I know people when I started doing stand-up, some people, especially some comedians, you know, they're like, oh, so you think you're gonna do this now? But anybody who knows me knows, one, I'm funny as shit. And two, that if I'm gonna do something, I'm not gonna take it lightly. I didn't even consider myself a comedian until like the last show I did at the Stand, where I actually realized while I was on stage, oh shit, I'm not even thinking. You know, like, I'm doing this because I do it now. And that was a really powerful moment. Okay. The comedy space is not necessarily the easiest space ever, but I think because of the training I had in hip hop, it's much easier to navigate. But nonetheless, I feel like it just became so oversaturated that it was like, because you know, we don't even have any like prominent female comedic icons that are sisters. I mean, people will be like, okay, Mama's Mabley, but even Mama's Mabley has only been recently become like a household name for folks, and that's because of the documentary. But like, even Wanda Sykes, like, you're not gonna put Wanda Sykes next to Pryor or Chris Rock. And then Whoopi, don't nobody know a Whoopi joke. Love Whoopi, let's be clear. But, you know, I went on a date with Nick Cannon one time. And just to stop your mind from thinking he did not hit, I know he recently made the list and I'm not on it. But he had ordered edamame. And I don't know if you all know what edamame is, but I didn't know what the fuck edamame was. But I'm trying to look real cute, you know, and poised, because the nigga is rich. And so I'm sweating just thinking about it, you know. So I took the edamame, and I didn't know that you're not supposed to chew the whole thing. Yeah. So I put the whole edamame pod in my mouth, and y'all, it was pure struggle for a good 7 minutes of trying to like and laugh and shit while it is like scraping up my mouth, and then I tried to swallow it, and I really feel like there's still scar tissue on my esophagus. And the funny thing is though, is that I feel like, you know, now in hindsight, I should have just kept it 100, because it's Nick Cannon. It really wouldn't have been that deep. You know, if it was Obama, it's a whole different story. But with Nick, he's a cornball already. So no matter what I did, he would have outcorned me anyway. Lay in it.
What was his reaction? He didn't notice at all?
I'm slick. I'm a slick broad.
Okay.
So he did not notice. I told him about it years later, and he was like, what? And that also lets you know that he wasn't really paying no attention to me anyway. That's why he's with Mariah.
Okay.
Kevin Hart is the game's Jay-Z right now. You can't go to a movie theater without seeing a Kevin Hart preview. Okay. But the thing about comedy, and honestly it's the same with hip-hop, Jay-Z is the exception, is that people have their waves. You know, like, there was a time when Jeezy was it. Like, it was just Jeezy everything. Like, everyone was about that. And now it's not so Jeezy-ish, you know? So I think when it comes to like who is timeless, I think, you know, Kevin hasn't been popping enough to know that yet. But someone like Dave Chappelle, like, he may not necessarily be the financial savvy of a Jay, but in terms of creating work that's like evergreen, classic, and timeless, and that people are still aspiring to be towards and measuring themselves against, Chappelle. Paris be showing love, yo. Paris likes a sister, you know? The bigger my hair, the better they down. So, Paris, you know what though, to keep it 100, a lot of people hate on New York and they feel like, you know, New York don't show love and it's such a hard crowd. But the thing about New York is it's really true. If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. And when a New York audience fucks with you, like that's the best feeling ever, you know? I mean, I've been to a lot of cities performing and, you know, they all show love, you know, because I've been really fortunate to be a part of quality projects and doing quality work. But when that New York audience gets on their feet for you, that's when you're like, okay, player, okay, you know, I'm about it, I'm here. Well, the web is just like really oversaturated with a lot of bullshit, especially from black folks. Like, I feel like a lot of the stuff that gets a lot of burn is like cinnamon contests, cinnamon challenges, twerk videos, and I feel like in terms of the comedy space, you have your awkward black girl, and like dormtainment, but aside from that, in the comedy space, I feel like, you know, there really isn't a lot of like quality black comedy content that I'm able to come across. A lot of it is just like either super like, my pussy is so, or it's super like, my dick is so, and the like wit is lost on it, you know? And I don't see, we don't have like our equivalent to Jon Stewart out there. We don't have our equivalent to Colbert, like getting shine and getting burned. And that's where I want to be with this, like, but for the black community. And so that's what we do with Things I Learned This Week. We take news stories and pop culture stories that are relevant to the black community. And it doesn't just mean stories about black people, because stories about a lot of things are relevant to the black community, even if they don't involve black people. But we take those things and we find a funny, humorous way to turn them on its side and to create some thought process about it outside of just, you know, letting it pass or just laughing at it. And it's the best, ooh, that's the best workout. Let me tell you, every week, that's how you really get your shit up and get your chops up. When you gotta create every week some funny shit, it's a challenge, and I did it on purpose to push myself, because I knew in doing stand-up and starting to do stand-up, I wasn't really trying to take too long to get nice. So it was like, okay, so we gonna challenge ourselves. I mean, I can't tell you how much I love it, and I created it so that I would have my own home base and my own place where people would know, like, oh, that's what Amanda does. That's her humor, and it's working. And you know, the next goal is to just get more viewers and a bigger platform and keep pushing. And that's why, like, Comedy Hype is so important, because we need the support of folks in order for that to happen, because I'm not gonna buy views. I can't do it, players. I don't know, I guess I'm just a weirdo. Well, one, I'm West Indian. I have 10 jobs. But I guess also, like, I mean, I really committed to like a life of being a creative. So in that respect, like, I gotta be creating at all times, you know, because these jobs, especially, they just come and go in television and in entertainment. So, and on top of that, as a black woman, like, you better be creating your own shit, because there's so few people creating anything for you, you know? And I really realized that 3 years ago when I started creating one-woman shows, and I've done 3 since then, simply because I really feel like it's the law of attraction too. You know, when you're creating work and you're putting good stuff out there, like, it's gonna attract that stuff back to you. So I'm also, I mean, I gotta pay these bills, dog. You know, so I got to pay the bills. Everybody out there who, you know, laughed and supported me, you know, as I don't know why all of a sudden I'm from New Orleans, but no, you know, I'm telling you, when people come, because, you know, in comedy there's only one compliment: you're funny. You know, in music and everything else, there's so many compliments people can give you. Oh my God, I love your energy, or oh, you know, that beat was tight. People can get around saying you nice really easily, you know. But in comedy, the only thing that they can say is you're funny. So when you get that you're funny cosign, like, that shit is a battery in your back, and it just helps you keep going. And so, but also, I just feel like humor is the key to really, like, creating social change out here and getting folks on the good foot and really awakening minds. So it's not just something I'm doing because it's fun. It's a tool for a greater purpose. So I'm actually honored that folks have taken me in and allowed me to be able to hone that, because I want to use it for a big purpose.
No doubt.
Right on. So y'all, you can check out things I learned this week every week, and it's TIL This Week for short, and you can check it out at tilthisweek.com. And if you want to see more funny shit, stand-up, TIL, clips from all the stuff I'm doing, you can go to Amanda Seals TV on YouTube. You can also follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on Twitter, all that, and it's all just Amanda Seals. We'll keep it basic for you, you know? And you can check out my monthly every last Sunday of the month at the Stand with Mark Lamont Hill, called Smart, Funny, and Black. And it's really basic. We have comedians who are smart, funny, and black. So that's how that goes.
All right.